Picking a judge in a homicide case is an extremely important part of the case, as any defense lawyer will tell you. And frankly, we knew very little about this judge that we were assigned to, and we tried to find out as much as we could in the short period of time that was given us. And the consensus was that we would stay with her. And I mean, technically, we still have 10 days to file a motion to substitute her out, but I doubt that'll happen. I think we are with the judge that we're going to stay with.
Would you prefer a male judge?
It had nothing to do with the sex of the judge. It had to do with the quality of the jurist and their fair-mindedness.
Joel, if you didn't know anything about the judge, you objected immediately upon hearing a woman's name.
No, that wasn't the reason. We had thought out what judges we would like to be before, and there were a couple. And initially, I thought that by maybe excluding this judge, we would get one of the judges we like to be before. But it turned out that there were too many other choices we didn't want. So rather than roll the dice, we stayed with this judge. But what I've been able to find out about her in the short period of time that we've had is that she is very fair-minded, has a very good judicial mind, a very good judicial temperament, and a great reputation for fair-handedness. So I think this is where we're going to stay. That's at least our opinion as we stand here today.
Did you ask Drew his opinion, Joel?
Well, of course, we always consult with our client in an important decision like this.
And he knows judges in Will County?
Actually, he knows a lot of the judges in Will County. He knows a lot of the state's attorneys in Will County. As a matter of fact, Mr. Glasgow and him are not unfamiliar with each other. So, I'm sorry?
Did he approve that?
We consulted with him, and his opinion would certainly give a major part of our decision.
Judge Van Bosco says if Drew gets out on bail, she fears he could be a danger to the community. Is Drew a danger to the community if he gets out on bond?
You want to take that one, Andy?
I mean, of course she's going to say that, and we're not here to get in an argument with Bosco or Savios or any of these people. The fact of the matter is that Drew hasn't been a danger to the community since this investigation began. There's been no need and no issues that he's had with the police, and I suspect that if he gets out on bond, that'll continue to be the status quo.
If there's a familiarity with the state's attorney here, does that mean that you folks are weighing the possibility of asking him being excluded from trial?
I'm not sure that that's a basis based upon familiarity. I mean, there has to be a basis, and certainly we're considering all the options, but familiarity is not a basis to ask somebody to be excluded.
Yeah.
Can you qualify then how it is that they're familiar, whether it was a good or bad professional relationship?
Well, I mean, they obviously worked together in the state's attorney's office when Drew was in the man's unit, and also when as a Bolingbrook police officer, especially when he was in the narcotics unit. He had a very close relationship with a lot of state attorneys who were prosecuting his cases. Your question, I think, is whether or not we'd ask for a special prosecutor. And why we haven't made that decision yet, I mean, it's not something we've totally excluded either. It's something we have to look into, look at the law on the issue, and discuss it in more detail with our client.
Speaking of the law, what is this hearsay law or hearsay law going to do for your case?
I think the hearsay law will not be applicable to this case. You said before it's unconstitutional, and also a violation of an ex post facto, which is relation back. In other words, a law that's passed in 2008 cannot affect the prosecution of an alleged crime which took place in 2004.